Bitcoin and the crypto market continues to crash right now. And as you can see, I've sold everything so I can buy this dip. So we're going to talk about some new price targets, how far down this dip could go, and also the future, what the future looks like for altcoins, which are surprisingly starting to do a bit better than Bitcoin. So let's go into the charts and check it out. So as you can see, Bitcoin continuing to crash down here, and we predicted this all back here. We were saying there's most likely going to be one more big dip before this consolidation is over. What I got wrong about that was the severity of the dip. I said we'll probably only go down to about 87, and it'll just be a quick fake out. We'll come right back up and then reverse from there. But as you can see, we've gone much lower. We've already gone down all the way to 82,000, and so I was wrong about that. This dip has been more severe than I thought was going to happen. I thought it'd just be a fake out, but at this point it's looking like it's probably not a fake out, and we're pretty likely at this point, I think, to come all the way back down to our support, because as you can see, there's basically no support in this zone. We went up with no resistance, so if you go up with no resistance, you can expect to come right back down with no support. So looking pretty likely we'll come right back down to like 70,000 at this point. We've already closed 2 daily candles below our support, so it's looking pretty bad. If we're going to be real, it's looking pretty bearish right now. And I also pointed out that if the daily EMA ribbon flips bearish like it has now, generally that leads to a bigger downtrend. So it's looking like we're starting to see that play out right now. We've already dumped quite a bit from 95K to 82K. And so, yeah, usually that leads to a bigger downtrend, which also just reinforces the case that we could come all the way back down to 70K. There's actually quite a few things pointing to this. If we do the Fibonacci, so let's go on the weekly. So if we take the Fibonacci, so first we'll take it from the very bottom of the bear market to the top, and you can see the 38.2 critical level lines up perfectly here, about 74K, which also matches up perfectly with the bottom of our weekly EMA ribbon, so a bit of confluence there. So that would be an obvious retracement area, 74K. And then if we take the Fibonacci just from this last leg up here, from the bottom to the top, you can see the 38.2 is where we're at right now, but an even bigger level, the 61.8, is also right down here at about 72, 73K. So both Fibonacci's basically pointing to the low 70s. So, and that's basically where our support also is. You know, when we broke up from our previous all-time high here, we never backtested it, so it would make sense for us to come down and backtest that. So, yeah, a lot of things pointing to us coming all the way back down here. If we go on we already closed 2 daily candles below the support, and the weekly, we still have about 3.5 days for the weekly candle to close. If that closes below the support, then that's, I'd say, really the nail in the coffin. But the monthly candle is actually gonna close before the weekly candle. Monthly candle closes in a day and a half. So so if the monthly closes down here, then that's really bad too. I mean, this is a massive bearish engulfing candle here. So yeah, we could see something similar to this, where big old red monthly candle, and then we get a reversal candle after that off our support. So yeah, is it possible that we just somehow find support here and just reverse right back up from here? Yeah, of course, that's obviously, anything's possible. That could happen, but if we're looking at the probabilities, I would say it's a lot more probable we come down further. Right now, everything's pointing to a bigger dump that we come down to around 70K. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I would expect this dump to go further at this point, but we'll see. We'll see. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you think it's over, or if you agree that we're probably going lower. So, yeah, if we look at some of the altcoins here, so altcoins actually, so initially when this dump started, the altcoins dumped a lot harder, but now the altcoins are dumping less than Bitcoin. There's a lot of them starting to stabilize. Even some of them are bouncing. And so you can see Bitcoin's down just under 3% in the last 24 hours, but a lot of these coins aren't down as much. BNB 1%, Solana 0%, Dogecoin just under 1%. Some are even up. Chainlink slightly up. Litecoin up 7%. Avalanche up 3%. Shiba up about 3%. HBAR up 2%. Polkadot up almost 4%. So some coins actually bouncing a bit. And I talked about some of the coins I bought 2 days ago during the dip. And in my last video, one of them was Fartcoin, which actually has seen a nice bounce. So let's see. Let's look at the chart. So when I bought it, it was right around here. So got pretty lucky, bought almost exactly the bottom of this dip for Fartcoin. And now it's bounced up pretty nicely. So I'm up about, I think I'm up about 20% since I bought it. So pretty nice bounce. Is this the bottom for Fartcoin? I don't know. If Bitcoin goes all the way down to 70K, then we could definitely see altcoins dip a bit lower. But I think the reason we're seeing altcoins stop to bleed as much and they're not quite dumping as hard as Bitcoin right now is because of the fact that altcoins are already down so extreme. Like so many altcoins are down like 70, 80, 90%. And a lot of altcoins that are like down at like bear market bottom levels. So I think altcoins they're so far down they just can't go much lower, and they're starting to find a bottom. So I think it's probably a great time to be dollar cost averaging into your favorite altcoins because they are so insanely far down right now. And we have seen Bitcoin dominance go down slightly as Bitcoin is dumping a little harder than altcoins right now, which usually you don't see when Bitcoin dumps. So that's a bit of a bullish sign for altcoins, I would say. And if we look at the fear and greed index, keeps getting worse. We're now at 20. We're in the fear at 20, which is lower than yesterday. And if we look at the chart here, all right, so 20. So, this is the coin market cap fear and greed index, and it only goes back like 2 years, not even quite 2 years. And so on this chart, the coin market cap fear and greed index, we've actually never had a reading as low as 20. The lowest we had was right back here in September of last year. We got down to 26. So this is the worst fear we've had in the last couple of years. So I'd say that's a major buying indicator. And, obviously if you bought back here when we were at 26, that was the bottom and you made an insane amount of money on the next leg up. So I think we're at that point right now. If we look at the alternative.me fear and greed index, it's actually much worse. It's showing a reading of extreme fear. We're all the way down to 10, which is insane. And a reading this low is actually extremely rare. Doesn't happen very often. We'll look at the chart. So right here we're at 10. As you can see, the last time we saw a reading this low was back in June of 2022. So almost 3 years ago. Last time we saw this much fear, we were basically at the bottom, right near the bottom of the bear market. This was like right after the Terra Luna crash and everything. So, obviously if you were buying down there, you made insane money. Before that was January 2022, which Bitcoin crashed from like 69,000 down to 30,000. And then from there, it bounced up to like 50,000 and then crashed again. So even if you bought there, you saw a nice bounce after that. Before that was June/July, summer of 2021. It was that huge crash in May. And so if you bought there, you made big money up from there towards November, the top of that bull market. So also a great time to buy. And then before that, March 2020, the pandemic crash. This was one of the greatest buying opportunities for crypto in a long time. So if you bought there, obviously you made insane money during that bull market. So yeah, basically, oh yeah, and then we have the bottom of the 2018 bear market also. So every time the fear is this extreme, it's been an amazing buying opportunity. We can look at the chart. I'll show you exactly what it looked like. So so the last time we had this much fear was way back here, June 2022. And if you bought here, you obviously made insane money. You had to wait a bit longer. You had to wait a few years for this to play out, because this was like middle of the bear market, but still a great buying opportunity in the long run for sure. Before that was right here, January, and from January to March we saw a big bounce. Bitcoin went up quite a bit, from about 30K to 50, just about 50K. And altcoins went up a lot more, actually. Like altcoins went up quite a lot in this bounce. So if you bought here, you in the short term, you made some good money over the next 2 months during a bear market. And then before that, we had the same fear back here, summer of 2021. If you bought there, you made big money. Before that, March 2020, if you bought here, you made insane money. So basically, every time we've seen the fear this extreme, it's been an amazing buying opportunity. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. And I think it's kind of similar to like the March 2021. Although I think we're more like at this point in the cycle. So in this case, you had to wait a bit longer for it to play out. But right now, I think we're more at this point in the cycle where we're about to go parabolic. So we're having an insane buying opportunity. And I think it's right before the huge parabolic part of the bull run. So this is like, in my opinion, one of the best buying opportunities you could get, where you don't actually have to wait insanely long for it to play out. So I think this is a huge opportunity. It's why I'm pretty much going to go all in at this point, especially if we get down to 70K. So I already bought the dip once, right around here, right around 87K. I bought some altcoins like Fartcoin, which actually already up 20%. So I already bought the dip once. So I'm just going to wait a bit now and see if we come down lower. If we do come down to 70K, then at that point, I'm just going to go completely all in, because like that's because I still think the rest of this year is going to be insanely bullish for crypto. I think Bitcoin is going to go way higher. Altcoins are going to go, like Bitcoin's going to go into the hundreds of thousands. You see huge gains, and altcoins are going to see even bigger gains. So yeah, if we're lucky enough at this point, I'm hoping we come all the way back down to 70K, because that would be, we're already so wrecked at this point that we might as well just come all the way down to 70K, get that amazing buying opportunity, and just go all in there, and then just ride it all the way back up. That sounds pretty nice. So if we get to 70K, I'm going all in there, and then I think it's going to be a glorious bounce from there. So let me know what your strategy is. Yeah, are we going to get down to 70K? I don't know. Like I said, we could just suddenly reverse from here. Anything's possible. But right now, I think it's more likely we do go lower. So we'll see how this plays out. We also have a CME gap around like 75K. So maybe we're going to finally close that. We'll see. But right now my target is low 70s, maybe even 69,000. And we might see that over the next week or two. Potentially within a week we could see that. So we'll see, guys. At least something exciting is finally happening. This part was like a month of just complete boredom. So something interesting going on finally. And I'm just going to continue dollar cost averaging. Nothing's changed. My strategy is still the same. I'm just going to keep dollar cost averaging. And I think by the end of this year, crypto's going to be way higher. So let me know your guys' thoughts, what you think is going to happen. Like and subscribe if you want more of these updates. And we'll see what happens over the next few days, if we go lower or if we bounce from here. We'll see. So check out the video popping up right now, and I'll catch you guys later.